art of sales is a very complex psychological career which requires extensive research and a devoted lifestyle. There are a few concepts that an effective salesman in business development must understand in order to employ impression-lasting persuasion tactics. An effective salesman will be able to completely understand their own goal and how it relates to the business development scene of their target. They can control the conversation with their vocal approaches and body language, and will be able to influence the inside of the business to execute their goal. Before a salesman even considers approaching their prospective customer, they must do lots of analysis to understand what they are trying to do in a broad and specific sense, so they must understand themselves in order to project it to someone else. A salesman must first understand what their product truly does and must effectively be able to explain that. So they must specifically understand exactly their product in order to effectively get that across and answer any questions or concerns people may have about that. You need to truly believe that your product is the best option out there, and you need to be able to back that up and explain why it is better than others. Because if you do not truly believe that your product is the best, then you're not going to be able to convince someone else that your product is the best. Being prepared for any questions or objections to your object is one of the best ways to impress a prospective customer. First, you must be able to figure out any reasons why the customer would not want to buy your product, and you need to be able to back that up and help support why they should be able to buy it. And then another analogy that I have is you should be able to answer questions and be able to pry into them like a 2-year-old. What I mean by that is you should be constantly asking why this is the way it is and what happens when this happens in order to clearly explain and help them understand and help you understand why they would not want to buy it. To begin a possible transaction, you must find a starting point and a starting time to begin entering the scene. Finding a starting position requires you to find where a person that you can start at and be able to work your way up the ranks, because you're not going to go straight to an owner and be able to convince him immediately why he should buy your product. So you need to work your way up. The timing is also important. If a company is currently going through a big money loss, they may not want to invest in your product, but if the product was security cameras that help people, help their employees not steal from them, then they would want to invest in that so they would not have any more profit loss. The next point is the presentation of your body and language, your vocal patterns, and even your own mental state are some of the most important convincing factors for field sales. Field sales are much different than from the home sales. You are actually going out there and trying to convince the people to buy your product. Your first impression and introduction to a potential buyer is extremely important in order to get them to consider even calling you back. Introduce yourself as a friendly salesman who is not working to get them to buy something, but you're working together in order to find an agreement that would benefit both people. You want to get past the evil salesman stereotype. People always think that salesmen are very evil people that are trying to scam you or to bother you and annoy you. But you need to get past that stereotype and get people to understand that that's not what you are. And you need to be within the business as a field salesman, so you need to be able to get out there and convince people of your product and show them what you can do instead of just calling people and trying to have a long shot to convince them. So the next thing is being confident in yourself, your product, and everything you can say to make it truly seem like you can make your product a dream for them. You want to believe in yourself and your words, otherwise, like I said before, you won't be able to convince them if you haven't convinced yourself yet. Your sales are completely dependent on you, so you must not be brought down by your failures, because most salesmen come off of commission. So if they don't make a sale, then they bring themselves down, and you can't do that. You need to get past the failure, and you're just trying to sell a good idea. So don't get upset about rejection. You must keep being persistent. So, a salesman must be able to work inside the system to enable a helping hand from a different perspective. It must be remembered that there are many people involved in making the decision of whether they want to invest in you or not. That could be the owner, tech manager, security manager, financial officer. So, any of those people could screw up your sale. They could tell the owner that there's something wrong with that and that they need to stop. So, a goal as a good salesman should have everyone on board in order to let your sale not be shut down. You must convince all the positions and sell it to the owner specifically because he is the one that signs the check at the end of the day. Finding someone inside of the business who wants to see the sale happen as well can be the key to success in hitting your idea home. They can help give inside opinions and concerns to the owner and other people managing. So he can also influence people on the inside and help bring your product to a reality for them. So lastly, being a professional field salesman can be challenging, but by doing research and polishing your goal, having the correct tones and confidence, and being able to get within the system, you can make it all possible. Following these key steps can lead to a productive, successful, and enlightening career that can open up many doors in the future.